Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchBox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any WatchBox platform. My name and address in the description below. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com. This is one of the watches of our time, though curiously, it had to wait for its time to arrive, as the F.P. Journe Chronometre Bleu was originally launched in 2009. Here we are over a decade later. It has never been hotter than it is right now, and you can see why. It's a great design. 39 millimeters in blue-gray tantalum. The watch has a nice heft to it. You can see it's also a slender watch. The timepiece only 8.5 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug, 46 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now the timepiece on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, wears easily. It's a great unisex option. It wears well if you have a taste for traditional sizes. It's comfortable, flat flush, easily slides underneath the cuff, and while colorful, it is also discreet in its sizing, so it manages to be exuberant with good manners. Now you can see from over the top, it's nowhere near the edge of my wrist, and down the barrel, I've got plenty of clearance on both sides. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, it's important to note that F.P. Journe intended for this watch to be lively and fun, as this is an F.P. Journe factory strap built for it. It has pull-tab spring bars, so you can quickly remove the strap using your fingernail, no tools necessary. You can see it uses curved spring bars too, so you can have the lugs drilled close to the case and a narrow pivot point from side to side without impeding the motion. It doesn't get pinned against the side of the case thanks to the curved spring bars. Matching tantalum pin buckle for quick on-the-fly adjustments, alligator leather, premium, large rectangular scale on the top. You can see there's a folded edge, a monotone orange stitch, and then there is small round scale alligator on the bottom for greater durability than if this were calfskin. Taking a quick look at the case, it's all of high polish, and while I was allowed to see almost every process at F.P. Journe's dial and case factory in Geneva, I was not allowed to see how this case is polished, so that, like the formula for Kentucky Fried Chicken and Coca-Cola, remains a closely guarded trade secret. But you can see it is all of high polish, which is unusual and difficult to achieve with tantalum, which tends to deform on a refinisher's wheel. So it is a spectacular finishing of an unusual material. It's partly black, partly blue, partly gray, partly purple. It is a chameleon on the wrist. The crown is the simple double dimple knurled crown that F.P. Journe has used on almost all models forever. The dial is exceptional. It's a black polished metal base with a translucent lacquer laid over it, so it manages to be both glossy like lacquer and also shiny like metal. It is both of these at once. You'll also appreciate that it has an azurage or concentric circular guilloche inset, giving a different tone to the blue, but also a different texture to the dial. The hands, as well as all of the features of the dial, feature an off-white lacquer, so what first appears to be white is actually a little bit more like cream or eggnog, and it adds some warmth to a dial that might otherwise be a little bit harsh. Turning the watch over, this is fundamentally the same caliber 1304 that you find in the Chronometre Souverain. 13 French lean in diameter. Work started in 2004 for the CS, but you can see this one has been customized as it features no power reserve. The CS features a power reserve that would clutter this dial, but you can also see it's been customized on the reverse side as it reads Chrono Bleu Souverain. So it is the Chronometre Bleu version of the 1304. 56-hour power reserve, twin mainspring barrels. This is designed to ensure a very even torque release so that the watch doesn't have a huge amplitude drop-off after 24 hours the way most single-barrel watches do. As a result, if you wind the watch every day, it truly does live up to its name, Chronometre. Also, like a fine watch should be, it's adjusted in 6 positions, not the chronometer standard of 5. Many companies will get a COSC certificate and claim chronometer status, saving all the variation and the imprecision of the watch for the one position that's not tested. With 6-position testing here, there is no place for inaccuracy to hide. Now, it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. Physically, the mass is very large with a large amount of inertia. So while it doesn't have the highest beat rate, it manages to be resistant to shock and concussion-induced timing deviation by virtue of its robust free-sprung architecture and the sheer size of the balance wheel used. Now, you can see that the movement is entirely made of 18-karat rose gold. So in conjunction with the tantalum case, this is a hefty little 39mm watch. You do feel it, and it is a pleasure. The finishing is a combination of manual and mechanical, as you find on most Journe watches. You can see all of the screw heads are black polished. The bridges feature Côte de Genève perfectly aligned from bridge to bridge. You can really see how the alignment from line to line, wave to wave, is absolutely precise across these disparate components. There is a grandoge, or barleycorn pattern, between the balance and the mainspring barrels. You can see there's also engine turning below the balance, and then there is a mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridges. And anglage on Journe watches has gotten a lot better over the years, to the point that it now looks rounded and shiny and mirrored and not filed. I would also mention that the watch has a hidden drivetrain. See how you can see the escapement, you can see the barrels, but not the train between them? That's because the train runs underneath the dial. It's called the magic train. The watch is 30 meters water resistant, and it doesn't have hacking seconds, but then again, you have an elegant 48 for both of those needs. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of the hottest FP Journe of our moment.